Hey, this is Willis. This is a bit unscripted, recording this right before the episode goes up, but we had a bit of an audio issue with Carlos's microphone in this episode. I worked for like 2 weeks to try to clean it up, and this is the best it got. It's a little rough still, but episode 2 should be fine. We just had a lot of fun with this episode, so we wanted it to go up, so please sit through it. It's really fun. We'll have a good time. Episode 2 is great. The audio is good in episode 2. But that's all I have to say. Sorry about the audio. Not sure what happened, but we tried really hard to fix it. I'm gonna do a funny intro, my best Dracula voice, and then I'll say your names, and then y'all can introduce yourself. Okay, I've been practicing it, but now can I do it on mic?
Now you're gonna freeze.
I believe in you.
No, I got it. Hello, you're watching Rollout. Usually it's the Edge of the Empire, but today we're playing Monsters of the Week. I'm Willis, your DM, and I'm here to introduce my players. Carlos.
Hi. Hello. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Hi.
And Sophie.
Hi. Very excited to be doing a Halloween-themed episode in August.
As Sophie said, we're recording our Halloween special. Alright, enough of that. Enough of Dracula. So, you probably noticed they didn't introduce their characters. And that's because we're doing a little Halloween special. We're playing Monsters of the Week. It's non-canon, and we're making a kind of... The theme is not a Disney Channel original movie about something that will maybe wind up being about Transformers. No spoilers.
Maybe.
So we're playing Monsters of the Week. Monsters of the Week is a really straightforward game. We're actually going to build our characters on air in a second. As you, the listener, all you need to know is this game's really straightforward. I'm not going to roll any dice the whole time. It's just going to be Sophie and Carlos rolling dice, and all they're ever going to roll is 2d6s, which is 2 6-sided dice, some Monopoly-ass dice. And so, I think the best thing is just to get into it. We'll explain how the rules work as we go, because there's not many of them. Sophie, you had the most planned out about your character. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you had?
Sure. So, my character is Clara. They are a Tamagotchi enthusiast. They have many, many V-Pets. They've also got full 90s attire going on. They got the denim jacket. They got the neon patches. They got the neon denim jacket patches. They got, probably about a dozen or so V-Pet keychains clanking around on one of their belt loops, and you'll find them at the arcade beating your high score.
And I know you were thinking about a couple different playbooks. The playbooks are what Monster of the Week calls classes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you decide on one?
I'm still kind of going back and forth between the mundane or the flake.
The mundane or the flake?
Yeah.
For the viewers at home, I'm going to give a summary of those, and then you can tell me kind of which one you're thinking about. The description for the flake is the flake, everything's connected, but not everyone can see the patterns, and most people don't even look that hard. But me, I never stop looking deeper. I can never stop seeing the truth. I spot the patterns, and that's how I found the monsters. And that's how I help kill them. The flake is very much the conspiracy theorists that figured out there's monsters. Because in this world, monsters exist, aliens exist, magic exists, all that fun stuff. But the general public doesn't know about it. And then the mundane is kind of the opposite of that. The description for the mundane is the mundane. You heard about how monsters only pick people with crazy powers and who can fight back on even terms. Yeah, me neither. But hell, I ended up in this monster hunting team, so I guess I gotta do what I can do, right? The mundane is very much the normal person that got wrapped up into everything. I would say that if we're doing a Scooby-Doo, they're the Shaggy that doesn't want to be there, but they're there.
So, like, I kind of like the idea of the flake just because Clara kind of has this very kind of aloof, kind of confident personality. Very kind of down to earth, super into technology stuff, but I kind of like the idea of like someone's just like, you know, I heard that there's like a werewolf in the woods, and suddenly their head just whips around from the arcade machine they're in front of them, and they're like, actually, it's not a werewolf, it's a chupacabra. And like, like this is someone who seems super down to earth is actually head up in the clouds with a conspiracy.
Yeah, and I would say for like the story I have planned, the conspiracy theory angle, like, I think works really well. Not that the mundane doesn't. I think the mundane could also work really well because they're all going to run into some weird stuff. But I like the idea of someone who has maybe because this is taking place in the 90s. Someone that has been involved in like early online messaging boards, like kind of hearing about this stuff, and then now finally having the real life proof that it's all real.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that angle. But I'll let you choose whichever one you want.
We can run with the flake. I think it'll be fun.
The flake?
Yeah.
Okay, so I sent you the PDF that you can fill out.
Okay.
The PDF you can fill out. It's really going to be straightforward. So go to the flake section.
Yep.
For me.
Yep. Already open.
And so you can see on your character sheet, there's a couple things. You have luck, which basically that's the amount of times you can say, oh, I failed the roll. Actually, I didn't fail the roll. I'm going to burn a luck point. Mm-hmm. But once you run out of luck, you become unlucky, and bad things start to happen to you.
Okay.
And unless your class specifically says it, there's no way to recover luck.
Gotcha.
You can also see below that is going to be harm, which is kind of hit points. You have 3 hit points before you get into, I would say, like critical range. And then after that, you have 4 more. And if you get hit, if you burn through those 4, you're going to need like medical attention or you're going to die. Okay. So your characters are very much, they might have supernatural powers, but they are still normal people. They're not giant robots or superheroes.
Gotcha.
And then right below that is experience. Every time you fail a roll, which is in this game 6 or less, you get to mark 1 experience. And as soon as you get 5 experiences, you get to basically buy a level up, which is in most cases getting a new move from your special move lists.
Gotcha.
Or upping one of your stats. The main stats in this game are charm, which is how charming your character is. Cool, which I always love as a stat, is how cool your character is. And this is how you act under pressure. Kind of how level-headed you are. And then sharp, which is how aware of your surroundings you are. And then tough, which is how physically strong they are. And then weird, which is their ability to kind of connect with magic. And so the first thing to do to start making your character is, you can see on the first page on the bottom right, you can see ratings, which is basically pre-built stat layouts for your character. You can just go ahead and pick one of those, and you can just tell us which one you pick. They're going to say things like charm +1, cool +1, sharp +2, tough -1, and weird 0. And that's just what you're going to fill in for those boxes there.
I'm going to go for the second one. So charm 0, cool +1, sharp +2, tough -1, and weird +1.
Okay, and then the next thing that you do is you get to... I'm kind of going to go on this kind of backwards.
Okay.
Go for the more narratively interesting information, and then we'll get into the game mechanic stuff. Getting started, the first thing for your flake is pick a name, and then we're going to follow the instructions to decide your look and your ratings and everything. We already did your ratings. So what's your flake's name?
Clara. So that's
Clara?
Klara.
Then another reason I really like this game, it asks you for your character's pronouns. What's your character's pronouns?
They, them.
They, them?
They're agender.
and then you can pick between two looks, but really you can say your character looks like whatever they want. You've kind of already given us a description, but the choices in the game are. Do you want to read from them?
Okay, so for the first part for look, there's different eye types. So you have wild eyes, moving eyes, focused eyes, searching eyes, suspicious eyes, wide eyes, guarded eyes, and then a blank for you to do your own type. Am I allowed to do the blank?
Yeah. So for the flake, because they're kind of flaky, it wants you to kind of describe what they're like.
Ah, okay.
Their eyes look like. So what kind of eyes does Clara have?
Let me think about it then. Let me see here. Probably focused.
Focus?
Yeah. So like, kind of like I'd imagine it's more of kind of like a piercing kind of. Like when they look at you, like you know that they're like analyzing you.
So a real like analytical,
yeah,
like, deeply focused kind of person.
Mm-hmm. Like everyone is a piece of data that needs to be gathered.
And then you kind of described what your character looked like already. Do you want to describe to us again how they're dressed? Because that's the next option. But
right.
You, before we started, thought of a really good description for them.
Yeah, so they're kind of short. They're kind of a medium skin tone. They're Latinx. They have black curly hair. And their outfit is just like full, like stereotypical 90s arcade fashion with like the full denim, neon patches for a ton of different stuff. They're a big Sega fan, so they have like a bunch of Sonic stuff, and just like a bunch of VPET keychains and like other keychains and just like that whole subset of 90s culture. Just like when they walk, like you can hear the clanking of all like the little Tamagotchis together. And, like, there's just occasionally, like, a beep from some of them that need to be fed, and they'll just stop whatever they're doing and take care of it. Like kind of that. And they also have glasses, because they don't have very good eyesight.
So, the next part of the character creation, we're going to do a little bit differently. It wants you to go into an introduction and history, but it doesn't really work, because we're only playing with two players. So, we're going to get into that after Carlos makes his character.
Okay.
So... The next thing you're actually going to do is I'm going to have you pick 3 extra moves from the list there on the first page of your character sheet. Moves are basically actions in the game. There's some basic moves that I'll tell you all about, but basically if you want to do a thing, tell me and I know which move to use for it because I've played Monsters of the Week quite a lot. Do you want to read... I guess just a brief description of some of the moves that you find on the flake list that would be interesting and which 3 you're going to pick.
Just kind of glancing at it, I already like the move that's see, it all fits together, using their sharp instead of their charm when they're manipulating someone.
Mm-hmm.
I find it funny that there's like, you know, the kind of mechanics text here and there is just kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's like there's one where like part of the mechanic text is like when you act all crazy, which is in bold as a mechanic. Let's see here. Ooh. So there's an option for net friends, which would be you can contact...
I knew you were going to pick that one. I love net friends.
Yeah, just like 1 second, just like in the middle of an encounter, just like whips out like a really clunky early 90s laptop and it's just like, give me a second. And just hear the dial-up noise going. Let's see here. Plus charm, help you with a mystery. Yeah, I think I'll take that one. Okay. And then let me see, what's one more good one? I kind of like Suspicious Mind, just because with the kind of backstory I have in mind, they're always analyzing people, so I'd imagine that they don't trust others too much.
Yeah, I think that's a great one, too.
Yeah. So I've got my 3. It's, See It All Fits Together, Suspicious Mind, and Net Friends.
So you should just be able to click the boxes on this and check them off.
Yep.
So you can keep track of what you have.
I got them.
The next thing is gear, and it's going to focus on the weapons. You can use the stats for these, but the game is kind of geared for like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and so the weapons are going to be like guns and throwing knives. I'm going to tell you all right now, you're all playing high school students. So a high school student having a .38 revolver isn't really going to be a thing, especially a thing I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
So that can be reflavored as literally anything. You can have a Nerf gun that just does 2 harm, and I'm fine with that.
I'm trying to think what they would come up with.
When I play the game as a player, my character I pick the big knife option, and I reflavored that as a baseball bat kind of thing.
You see.
So you can have a toy lightsaber, and it can do that amount.
Clara would definitely have something with projectiles, but I'm just trying to figure out what the heck they would come up with. I could see them having like a Nerf gun that like they've just like, you know, tinkering around with the other stuff that they have and like all their stuff. Just like have decided at some point, like, can I make a weapon out of this? And it's just like basically shoved like thumbtacks into the ends of the darts. Like it's like perfect.
As someone who modded mini a Nerf gun, I really like that idea.
Yeah, so I would imagine that would be one of the smaller weapon options here.
So do you want to pick from... Tell us which... for those at home, Sophie, he's going to be able to pick from a normal weapon, which are guns and things, and then a hidden weapon, which is what it sounds like, a weapon to hide. Do you want to tell us what normal weapon you're picking and what you're going to reflavor it to?
I think I'm going to go with the .38 revolver, which is a 2-harm close reload loud one. I think I'm going to reflavor that as a Nerf gun that Clara has modified to have like the darts, instead of ending with a rubber end, have a thumbtack like in there. So just like, you know, I imagine that they've been using it as
Clara's
like
just a shitty... They're just a shitty little kid.
They are a nerdy little gremlin with an entire like family of Tamagotchis that they look after. With very large ego. So we have the thumbtack Nerf gun, and then let me see for a hidden weapon. What would be something?
Is the Nerf gun the actual like Nerf revolver?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the one that has like the 6 in the chamber, and then the like little clip you can keep on the side. Like
that's fantastic.
Yep. Probably has some sort of stickers smashed all over it from stuff that they've won at the arcade. For the hidden one, I'm kind of liking the flashlight, but I'm imagining it as like a laser pointer that they've won and will just like flash in somebody's eyeballs, freaking, you know, pocket sand style, and run away.
Well, yeah, that works. The Watchman's flashlight is a one harm weapon.
Oh yeah, that's right. These are mostly melee, right?
I would say getting shot in the face with a laser pointer is 1 harm.
Okay, that works. Alright.
Okay, so check those off, and that is Clara built. Okay, now it's Carlos's turn. Carlos,
right.
Do you want to tell us about the character you were thinking about?
I just want to let everyone know that it was very hard to decide, because I made 2 characters. I went with the most popular one. So his name is Johnny, or Johnny, spelled without the H. So it's just Jonny. The name, I looked it up, and it's something about like the grace of God or something, which works perfect for what I'm doing. Something light of God or something. Anyway, Johnny is a I guess say your typical goth kid, just thin, pale, big mop of black hair, dresses all in black. He wears a dog collar, not a choker, specifically a dog collar.
Oh God!
And a little thing about Johnny that people don't. So I made a drawing of him, and I showed it to the reviewer, so these guys know how he looks. Yep. A thing they don't know is that he's loosely based on how I looked when I was 12 to 13 years old.
You were a little goth boy. Oh, I didn't know that about you, Carlo.
I know. It was literally like through middle school before I found heavy metal in high school, and then basically digivolved into a metalhead from, liking The Cure and the Smiths.
Listen,
Yeah.
with me, it was going through a very cringy anime phase, so...
We all
Hey,
got that. And
My parents didn't let me be goth, so it's fine.
Yeah, I get a lot of influences from my older sister, so I got, black painted nails from her, and my just long black clothes that cover everything. But anyway, Johnny's mother is a Jehovah's Witness, which I feel like it's going to create some tension there. And that's really...
I already have plans for Johnny's mom, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Well, did they work with her being religious?
Oh, more than you know.
Okay, good. So it works fine.
Perfect.
I like... Yeah. One of my best friends in high school was a very rebellious person with parents who were Jehovah's Witnesses, and it made for really interesting dynamics there.
I have friends like that too.
So I think you were also stuck between two different playbooks. Do you know which one? Have you made your choice? I know
Yes.
You were looking at either the crooked or the spooky.
I definitely have made the choice, which is going with deciding while going with the religious aspect. We're definitely going with the spooky.
The spooky? So
Yes.
Let me read the description for the spooky. The spooky. I can do things that normal people can't, but there's a price. I haven't paid it in full yet, but the bill's gonna come. But the bill's gonna come due soon. It's best I don't tell you anymore. You get too close, you'll get hurt. So the spooky is one of the few specifically like magic playbooks. In this game, anyone can use magic, but the spooky and the divine are kind of and this obviously the spell slinger are the three kind of main spell casting classes. Anyone can do magic, but they specifically give you a little bit more you can do with magic. Magic's always going to run off the weird stat unless your playbook tells you otherwise. But the thing with that is, if your character isn't innately magical, then you have to have some reason to why you can do magic in this moment. Like the mundane is the most normal person in the game, and they can still use magic, but if they're going to use magic, they have to have kind of a narrative reason for it. So for Sophie's class, the Flake, for Clara, they don't necessarily have magical powers, but if they wanted to attempt magic, they still could. It just had to be a narrative reason behind why they're trying to do it, why they're doing it, etc. Let me scroll to the spooky page, and we can start building Johnny. The spooky stuff, if you want to go to that section of the PDF I gave you, you're actually going to start on the second page. So it says we're going to start the same place that Sophie did for theirs, and it's going to be the ratings. Pick one line. Kind of same thing. You're just going to pick one of those stat blocks. Whatever you think defines Johnny the most. For the Flake's always going to have +2 to sharp, and for the Spooky's case, they're always going to have +2 to weird because that's kind of their base stat. So pick one of those stat blocks and tell us what it is, and if you need help figure out what the stats mean, I can let you know.
The stat blocks, that just mean like charm, cool, all those guys?
Yeah, so it'll be like charm +1, cool 0, sharp +1, tough -1, and weird +2.
Okay, do we just alright, I'm already confused. Are we getting these numbers or specifically already set and I just pick one of them, or?
Yeah, so you'll click, just select one of the boxes next to those lines, and you'll just pick basically one of the stat lines. You're not gonna make up your own numbers or put in your own numbers. So basically there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different options of what Johnny could be like. He could have a charm of 1 and a cool of 0. You can either follow that first line, or you can pick he could be 0 charming.
Oh wow, I don't want him to be tough at all, but this is forcing me to, so he's gonna have to be tough.
I mean, you can do, the third line has -1 tough, the first line has -1 tough, and the last line has 0 tough.
Yeah, but I really want him to be a little cool and not very charming.
A little cool, not very charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
So I'll tell you that 0 is the average person. So an average person has a charm of 0, a cool of 0, a sharp of 0, and etc. So having a 0 in a stat doesn't mean he's bad at it. It means he's like average at it. Having a minus is less than the average person.
Yeah. So, like, Clara is -1 and tough. So.
Yeah, so they're weaker than the average person.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I think I got it. I'm on the last one.
Alright, so do you want to read us the line you picked?
Yeah, it's Johnny's gonna have a charm of -1, cool of -1, sharp of 2, tough 0, and weird 2.
So take those numbers and put them on what you're probably looking at on the first page. Just write them next to the kind of the first thing on the character sheet, just so you can have a quick, easy to read reference of them. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, do you want to tell us? I think you've kind of been saying them already, but Johnny's pronouns, just so everyone at home knows how to refer to Johnny.
He, him, and they, them. So we're too young
He
to realize.
cool.
Hey, same pronouns.
He knows he knows there's a chance. He's not sure.
Johnny's pronouns are gonna be a little different when he's older. That's fine.
There might be, yeah.
Okay, so now you're gonna pick your look. The first one is asking you, kid, teen, or adult. For the story, you're gonna have to pick teen. But do you want to read the other descriptions and kind of pick ones out of those?
Teen, adult, old. Oh, I didn't even know. So that was just gonna be a default teen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Eyes. Blanket. Okay, I'm just gonna make up my own eyes as bored.
Bored?
Yep, he's got bored eyes.
Okay, and then for the clothes, how does Johnny dress?
Oh, it says goth right there. There you go.
Perfect.
Okay, and so the spooky has one extra step that the flake doesn't. Some of the classes are like this. Johnny needs to pick his dark side.
Ooh, okay.
Your powers have an unsavory source, and sometimes you get tempted to do things you shouldn't. These could be orders from whatever granted to your powers, or urges that bubble up from your subconscious. Something like that. But whatever it is, it's unsettling. And so just pick 3 tags for your dark side. Just like
okay.
3 things off of this big list of what is kind of the inspiration for where he gets his powers from.
I got it already. It's done.
You got it already?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be depression, self-destruction, and pain.
And pain. Alright, so now we're gonna go back to the first page.
Also, don't feel too
And
bad.
we're gonna start with.
Don't feel too bad for Johnny. He's gonna be fine. A little gothy, angsty kid.
So, just like Sophie did for his, we're gonna pick. You get all the basic moves, but you also get to pick 3 spooky moves. Do you want to read through those and then tell us which 3 are kind of speaking out to you as Johnny?
How many of these am I grabbing? The moves?
You're gonna pick 3 of them.
Alright, I got it. It's I'm picking the sight, premonitions, and hunches.
Alright, so just check those off. Basically, the sight, Johnny can see invisible things, which will probably be useful. Can communicate with spirits and make deals with spirits, and gives you more opportunities to spot clues when you use the investigative mystery move. Premonitions is going to be fun. We're going to do that soon, because at the start of each mystery, you're going to roll a weird check, and you get a detailed version of a bad thing that's about to happen. And then for hunches, when something bad is happening, or just about to happen, you basically get some extra information about it. Then the last thing, just like I said for Clara's, you get to pick one thing from the gear list. Like I said, they're mostly weapons. Pick a PG-13 version of one of the weapons.
I'm guessing the big knife. I don't know exactly how to translate it.
The big knife?
Yeah, I don't exactly how to translate to something. Like, how outrageous are we going with how mundane these objects are and how much they're doing?
I mean, Clara has a laser pointer and a Nerf gun that they've stuck thumbtacks into.
So I don't.
Can the big knife be a kunai he got from an anime convention?
Well, I'm thinking maybe. Well, I was thinking something crazier, but I don't think magic can be used in this gear, right? It's just...
We can make it magical.
Okay, are you sure? Because
if you want,
my idea is really dumb. It's gonna be.
Yeah, tell me.
It's gonna be a raven quill.
A raven quill.
Yeah. It works. It works and functions exactly like a knife, for the most part.
A raven quill that works like a knife. Yeah, he can have a magic raven quill.
Yeah. So if he wants to, he can shoot it anime style, throw it anime style, like a knife, or just cut someone with it. Cut something.
Just like a quill he made at home, but like he doesn't have experience in metalworking, so it just became like a very large, sharp metal end to it.
And then you get to pick 2 from the list. So you have a big knife (parentheses raven quill), and then you get to pick 1 more.
Oh, okay. Are we
again? It could be a magic thing too.
The creatures that we're fighting, are they? What's the deal? Do you know anything of their background or anything that I can leave this to?
I'm trying to think. I'll just tell you, it's going to be about aliens kind of thing. Kind of not quite Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but kind of that direction.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I'm going to use as a weapon. It's not going to be. I guess I'm going to do the revolver. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Okay.
One of these two. But the idea is maybe a spray can and a lighter.
Yeah, it could for sure be a spray can and a lighter. I think for that, the shotgun would be the best. 3 harm and then close and messy because it doesn't have the loud tag.
Oh yeah.
But I think an improvised fireball would be 3 harm. It'd be close and it'd be messy, so that works.
All right.
Okay. So that is Johnny. Johnny is built. The next thing, actually, we're just gonna get straight into it, and I'm gonna ask y'all some kind of questions about how your characters know each other. Because my one rule for this is that your characters are already friends.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Okay. It just makes the game go by quicker if they're already friends and they're already working together on things. So, our characters are high school teens being played by actors that are clearly not teenagers.
Nice.
It is the year 1990X. They are attending the most prestigious school for gifted and talented students. Chalk High. Their school's mascot is the Primal Gorillas.
Right.
I see what you did there.
And the school is located, much like Springfield, on the border of Texas, California, and New York State. The city is called Autumntown.
Ah, nice.
This special location was chosen by the school's founders to reflect the diversity of the country and to get the best and greatest students from around the world. We're going to start, and your characters are going to be in an after-school club together. What's the after-school club?
Video production club.
Oh yeah, that fits.
Maybe video production club.
Maybe I don't know. That's the first thing to throw there. How about creative writing club, or I don't know, anything. Sophie, what do you think?
I kind of like the idea of the AV club. Because like it seems like a place where a nerd like Clara would end up, and also has enough fun stuff and just kind of a more chill atmosphere where Johnny might feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's a place.
Yeah,
like
it is kind of the Venn diagram between goth and arcade nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny's just trying to make his what's it called? Boys Don't Cry style music video himself.
Yeah.
So tell me what Clara and Johnny are doing at the AV club.
I already said Johnny's doing a music video himself to Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah.
So is Clara helping with the music video?
Yes, But probably also on the side, just like as Johnny is doing his thing, they're kind of, doing their side business, which is basically they babysit some people's V-pets while they're in school. So they're kind of sliding back people's Tamagotchis that have been taken care of for the day and like taking like $5 bills back and that kind of thing. It's like, thank you, there you go. Yes, here you are. Here's, like that kind of thing. Just like...
Oh my god. Okay. So it is that point of the night where the meeting is technically over, but the people are talking about their weekend plans. Because today is Thursday night, or known as the night before Halloween.
So, which name are you going with for it?
What, the night before Halloween, or the...
the night before Halloween,
Halloween
because in my region there's been a lot of controversy about that, so...
For calling Halloween Halloween?
No, for the night before Halloween, whether it's Devil's Night or Angel.
Devil's Night? Yeah.
Well, I feel like... Well, I know which one Johnny's gonna call it. What does Clara call it?
Devil's Night.
Devil's Night. So it is Devil's Night for y'all. So we're gonna do our first check. Y'all both can do it. And it's gonna work like... Every check is going to work the same way. You're going to roll 2d6s and then add a certain stat to it. Y'all are going to roll Investigate a Mystery, which is going to be your sharp stat. So roll 2 d6s. Carlos, you can use the dice roller online and then add whatever your sharp stat is.
What if the sharp is negatives?
You minus 1.
Then you're going to subtract that number.
So I
got a total of 11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did I say it was?
Investigative mystery.
So you get to ask 2 questions about what's going on. I'm going to give you kind of the starting prompt, and then I'll tell you the questions list. And you can ask a question that's kind of inspired by this. But Clara, you hear 2 students talking at the table kind of in front of you. Their names are Kevin and Oscar, and they're on the football team. They tend to be pretty rude, make fun of other students, and aren't the most honest bunch. They joined the club on a mandatory school rule that all students must be in one after-school club a year to graduate. And they haven't been helping out much so far. And you hear them chatting about something. So you can ask me 2 questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can it hurt? Where did it go? What is it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
So, given that there's some sort of hushed rumor going on, I'm going to assume that Clara immediately thinks that there's something supernatural going on. So, first question is going to be, what kind of creature is it?
You hear Kevin and Johnny whispering, and I think Kevin is saying that, like, I don't know, man, I don't think it was anything. And then Oscar's like, no, dude, it was a giant owl, I'm telling you, he was huge, a giant owl, big red glowing eyes. Like, you saw it, it chased us off. So what's your next question?
So let me think for a second here. So, like, Clara being Clara and having most likely a big old, like, corkboard in their room that's covered in, like, news clippings and, like, blurry photographs and stuff. Like, they already think they know what this is and everything like that, but the question that they have on their mind is, what is it going to do?
You hear them talking, is like, man, I didn't see anything. And Oscar's like, what are you talking about? You ran as far as I did. It chased us off. Like, it didn't want us anywhere near that bridge. And so, what do you want to do with this? You're hanging out with Johnny right before the club wraps up.
So, Clara, finally done with Tamagotchi dealering for the day, turns to Johnny, who's walking back over from the green screen and getting everything all set up over there, and says, hey! So, and like kind of leans in, being very secretive about it, and it's like, we have a target at the bridge. Like, Just like, it's very common for Clara to pull Johnny aside and just be like, there's something going on. And like, this is very commonplace, I'd imagine.
So, quick, something that I just screwed up. I put -2 on my sharpness. So let me roll it this time. I wrote it down on the little thing.
Oh yeah, let's see what you can get. And I can say your investigating entry can be after Clara's told you, but like, hey, something's going on over there. We have something at the bridge going on.
Cool. So,
yeah, roll 2d6. And then +2.
+2. 12.
Woo.
12? Alright, so you get to ask 2 questions too. Do you want me to read the list to you again?
Yes.
Alright, so what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can it hurt? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
We already know what it's going to do and what kind of creature it is.
Yeah.
So, my question, obviously, how does it hurt? What does it hurt?
What can it hurt?
Can it hurt? What can it hurt? It seems like something you're interested in.
So, Johnny, after hearing that, sorry, Sophie, is it Clara or Clara?
Clara.
Clara?
Mm-hmm.
Clara, telling him, like, hey, something's up. Like, they're something about the bridge. They're talking about something about the bridge. Johnny walks over, and he kind of looks Kevin and Oscar up and down, and they don't seem to be hurt. Oscar's definitely shaken up, and Kevin's definitely pretending like nothing happened last night. But it doesn't seem like they got hurt.
We already know where it went.
You don't know where it went. You know where they saw it at.
Yeah, I also want to know.
Oscar says he's like, I think I saw it after we got back into the car and after we drove off. I think it followed us a little bit, but I saw the red glow fly back into the woods.
So it went into the woods.
Yeah, and y'all would know the bridge they're talking about. There's a big bridge in town.
Is it the only bridge?
That covers...
Or
It is the only bridge in town.
It's the bridge.
It's the bridge in town. The old rickety bridge. You know, it's not taken care of very well. It's kind of falling apart. People tend not to use it. And it is generally a spot where teens gather to do rebellious teen things. And it passes over what used to be a large river, but it's since dried up.
So clearly, we were there just like the other night. Clara was holding the camera while I was doing these sad dances for my music video.
Yep. Important background work.
Yeah.
Gotta get some B-roll, gotta have it ready.
Yeah, because whatever footage you get there is going to be useful for any music video Johnny does.
Yeah.
Yes. This place is dark, like.
It is dark like me. So what do y'all want to do after hearing Kevin and Oscar chat about what they saw last night? Just so y'all know, it's night already. The school club kind of tend to go off kind of late into the night. And the club leader, Chelsea, is making an announcement saying, okay, club, meeting's over. Make sure your parents are here to pick you up or you have a ride home. The janitors told us we gotta lock up the room, so time to wrap up the night. And so everyone's kind of like hustling out.
Gotcha. Carlos, do we have any parents here to come and get us? Like, are we gonna have to deal with Johnny's mom?
Oh, that's a good question. Because Johnny's definitely the kind of person that doesn't want to wait for their mom. Mom is definitely the person that would definitely show as well.
Because this is not a Disney Channel movie, y'all can definitely be in high school but have a car. Y'all can, or y'all could have rode here on your bikes. It's up to y'all.
I would prefer to not have a car. That seems too cool.
Yeah.
So I'd rather we maybe Clara's like cool enough to have a bike or a skateboard, but she'll just like go around Johnny as he walks. It's just too fast, but he's just walking.
So Johnny walked here and Clara...
Like, I imagine it's like one of those bikes that has like a very hastily welded on like seat on the back, but like...
Yes! Actually, even better. What if
Johnny likes to walk.
what if Clara's got like a bicycle, but it's got spokes on the back, and if things go rough, John just like hitches a ride with her.
Yep. Yeah, the two like
perfect.
big bumper pieces on the back that you can just stand on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So what are they gonna do? They heard about this mystery going down on the bridge. What do y'all want to do?
So
y'all
like,
rebellious teens.
Clara's just gonna immediately look at Johnny with just like this look of just like an excited puppy that's just seen their favorite human come home. Like just like monster in the woods, monster in the woods. Like
Okay, and
it's like already has their notebook in their bag that they keep all of their notes in, like little clippings. Oh my gosh, they're excited.
okay, and then Johnny then knowing exactly what is going on, he goes, "Okay, fine. We have to sneak away from my mom. She's here."
Clara just like claps their hands together and is just like, "Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's do this." Like.
So how are y'all sneaking past Johnny's mom?
Okay, so like the building is kind of emptied out at this point, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
If it's anything like my high school, like there are a ton of different exits, and like people who wanted to avoid the rigmarole of their parents would basically go out the back doors, hop the fence that's behind the field, and just like head out down the other main road that's on the other side of the like school area.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe for convenience sake, the woods is right next to the high school. Because I know my high school.
Yeah, if y'all like sneak out the back, y'all can like get to the woods.
My high school was in the middle of nowhere. Like in the front, there was a couple houses, and the back was just desert. So maybe like that.
Okay, so both of y'all do act under pressure. So 2d6 plus your cool.
Okay. Plus cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got a 12.
A 12?
Yeah.
What about Carlos?
I got 4.
A 4?
Yep.
Okay, so Clara has definitely snuck out before, and so everything's going good. You're gonna do exactly what you want to do. But y'all are sneaking out, but then Johnny, you missed. You rolled a 4, so you get spotted by I think Chelsea, the club leader, and she says, "What are you doing? Your mom's out front."
So, quick question. If Carlos wants to, is he allowed to use the luck mechanic at this point?
Yeah, you can burn 1 luck and turn this into a good thing.
Yes, we get like a total of, what is it, like 7 luck?
It just makes it a 12, yeah. So you can use luck 7 times, and you get a succeed when you would have failed.
Okay, so all I have to do is just waste a luck to get away with it?
Yep, just check it off.
Okay, cool. And my luck is that I tell Chelsea off.
And she's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go tell your mother." And then she like runs off. And so
and then we take off.
She's gonna go tell your mom, but like she was like so offended she didn't even like think of like, "Idiot, you didn't tell him to come with you. They're just gonna run off." You have a good like 15 minutes before she figures it out.
Meanwhile, Clara just like turns to him and goes, "Nice." Clara's a little bit of a gremlin, not gonna lie.
I do like that Clara and Johnny are friends simply because they're just like, everyone else sucks, so let's just be friends.
Yeah.
There's 2 little shits that are little shits together.
Very chaotic neutral / possibly neutral evil. We'll find out.
So y'all make it to the woods. Y'all tell Chelsea to go buzz off. And y'all make it out the back. Y'all run through the football field, and right on the other side of the football field is the woods. It's going to be a little bit of a hike to get to the bridge, but this is the same forest, so y'all can easily get there. It is a really cold, really dark autumn night. It's it's just like frigid out, even for like the time of year it is. It's just near freezing. Not actually near freezing, but like incredibly cold for the time of year. What's the trip through the woods gonna look like for y'all?
So I imagine while they're walking, like, Clara's just gonna, like, pop open their notebook where they keep all of their stuff before it goes up on the corkboard at school, back at home. It's just like, okay, so based off of what they said I'm guessing that the physical dimensions are about 9.5 feet by now. Like, just, like, going through, like, this little compendium of, like, hypotheses that they've already figured out. Like, they know everything. And just, like, just talking with him continuously about it.
What's Johnny's response to, like, all these rigorous details of their conspiracy of what's in the woods?
That's kind of weird. It's just, like, probably just agreeing with, like,
he's used to their shenanigans at this point.
Yeah, like, I have a feeling that she's like running at 100 miles per hour, and he's just like, I agree, but I don't share your enthusiasm.
I agree, but I don't share your enthusiasm. So y'all make it to the woods. No problems there. Y'all have probably gone this way to get to the bridge many a time before. You find this large field that's where Kevin and Oscar were parked. There's evidence of them driving around and evidence of them driving off quickly. Roll Investigate a Mystery, which is another sharp roll. So roll 2d6 plus sharp.
Ooh. Got a 5 here.
A 5? So 5 is a miss. Clara doesn't find anything here. They're like, yeah, there's the car tracks for Oscar's car. I don't know. I don't see anything else out here. What did Johnny get?
A 10.
A 10?
Yep.
Okay, so you get 2 questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can it hurt? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
What kind of creature is this?
So you're looking around, you're looking up in the air, you don't see anything. You don't see any real broken branches coming through the woods. But you see another set of tire tracks. These ones bigger and deeper than the other one. You can put together that it's like probably a van based on, like, it's not a truck, it's not the off-road tires, but after Kevin and Oscar left, some sort of van drove through here.
What's being concealed?
What's being concealed here? While you're looking around, you feel like an unnatural. The temperature drops. Colder than this is a kind of an unnatural cold. It's almost like chilling to your bones, giving you like goosebumps. Something, maybe not supernatural, but like something happened here. Because they didn't get chased off by the van. They didn't talk about any van. And while you're trying to connect those dots, you hear a voice in your head, and it's a real silent voice, and it says, "Why have you come here? What are you looking for?" In the back of your head, and like you're not hearing this voice, but you're thinking this voice almost, like a voice in your head.
Okay. Being how I'm a weird, spooky guy, am I used to stuff like this?
Yeah, I think you definitely had similar feelings before. This is someone using telepathy on you. It's like, why are you here?
How would you react? Like, the voice is back.
And once you think that both of you hear a sound of a car, like starting up, and you hear sound of an engine running, and then a sound of a car coming closer. And then off in the distance, kind of from where the bridge was, there's a large black van driving towards you with the lights off.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
And then, Johnny, you hear the voice again, and it says, "Run, don't let them get you, run."
We should run.
So I'm just like thinking about this from Clara's perspective. Like, they're just sitting there looking at the tire tracks, trying to put together, like, anything else that they can possibly think of, but they're just blanking. And then, like, suddenly, like, Johnny looks up and he's just like, oh, the voice is back. And then, like, a car with no lights on just comes rip-roaring out of the woods. And he says, we should run. And they're just like, yep! No questions asked.
Yeah, the van's huge. It's this big, murdered-out, all-black van with none of the lights on. Almost looks like
in the
what
dark,
like
in
an
the
electrical
woods,
company
at
would
night.
use, but no license plate, nothing on it.
Yikes.
Roll me act under pressure, which is going to be
Cool.
cool. Unless some of you,
Oh, no.
unless you picked a move that lets you do it with something else.
Okay. 8.
8. Carlos, what did you get?
3.
3.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Act under pressure. Okay, on a 7 to 9, no, on a 7 to 9, the keeper, which is the DM, is going to give you a worse outcome and a hard choice. Okay, so are y'all running?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start running, and the ground is like wet. You're trying to like push your bike through this like wet ground, this wet, damp, almost swampy ground with this really tall grass in this field. You see Johnny not being able to keep up. I think it's something's going on with them. He's not as they're not as focused as they normally are, and you can get away, but you have to either leave your bike behind or leave Johnny behind. It's not gonna be you're not gonna be able to run with the bike or run with Johnny. You have to pick one.
Okay, so the bike is definitely getting tossed.
Yeah.
Like, I think in, like, Clara's mind, it's just, like, you know, years upon years of conspiracy theories and, like, putting stuff together. It's like, it's either the FBI, the CIA, the reptilians, the Greys, or something else. And, you know, them being them, they think they have a better chance using their knowledge and being alongside Johnny than they do just running away on their bike. So, bike is getting yeeted.
Okay, so roll. Actually, we forgot to do Johnny's move. Johnny, you got the special move where you get to do from one of the moves you picked. You're gonna do your premonitions roll. Roll 2d6 and add your weird.
11.
11. Okay, on a 10 plus, you get a detailed vision of something bad that's yet to happen. You take +1 for it, preventing it to come true, and you get an experience if you stop it. So basically, a forward is basically an extra +1. So when it comes time to stop this bad thing, you're gonna, because you know it's gonna happen, you're gonna get a +1. And I can say this premonition comes when the van starts coming towards you. You get this vision, and you've had these visions before, of you answering the door at your house. You can tell it's the next day, and you're talking to someone that claims to be from the cable company, and they reach into their pocket and pull out this, it looks like a pin with a little red light on top. And you see them press a button on it, a red flash happen, and then you forget the night before. You forget tonight. That's your premonition. Okay, and then we're going to go back to Clara. Roll me investigate a mystery plus your sharp.
It's gonna be a 6.
A 6?
Hmm.
Okay, so that's a miss. On a miss, you reveal some information about the monster or whoever you're talking to. So on the miss, the monster is going to learn something about you. You're trying to rattle through your head, like unmarked van, black van, what is this? What does this mean? And you don't notice you're leaving tracks in the mud. And your shoes are caked in mud. So Clara doesn't know this, but they're going to leave a trail back to their home. But because you're acting under pressure, you're able to kind of pick Johnny up under the arm and like help each other walk through this deep mud together. What do you want to do next?
So, I'm imagining at this point, while we're tracking through the woods on foot away from this thing, like, first things first, Clara's gonna make sure that Johnny's okay. Just make sure that he's, you know, stable and everything like that, and then just immediately go into, you know, their idea of what the van might be and how much in trouble they're in. Just kind of jumping back and forth between, is it terrestrial, is it not, you know, which government agency is it likely, you know, like that kind of thing.
So y'all are running towards the woods. You get to the woods. You know the van's not going to be able to follow you into the woods. You've made your way through this forest hundreds of times before. Johnny filmed all his music videos here. Y'all taken this path before. So y'all get to the edge of the woods, kind of pulling each other through. Not going as fast as you would like, but you breach the border between the field and the woods. And you keep running. The ground gets a little bit harder, easier to run. You can pick up speed, but then the van, it stops at the edge of the woods of the van. There's no way this van can navigate this kind of tough terrain. So what do y'all want to do now?
So, does Johnny inform Clara about the vision at all?
Ooh, we're already clear of the car, are we?
Yeah, I would say y'all are still, you run through the wood, but you're able to find a clearing that's well away from the car, from the van.
We are gonna forget all this. I saw
What?
it in my mind.
You saw it. Clara's just gonna look off into the distance, because I would assume at this point in their friendship, that's actually a good question. Has Johnny told Clara about his abilities?
I think I would think it's one of those things where we just kind of accept enough of each other that we're like, okay, you might know you're right. Maybe they don't know it's an actual thing, but Johnny probably has feelings about things that have turned out to be,
gotcha,
pretty close. Mm-hmm. So they're just trusting each other. I don't think they'll be
gotcha,
I have powers. That's just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just gonna be I think maybe Clara thinks that he has a really good kind of gut sense about stuff.
Right.
Yeah, his track record's solid.
Yeah, his track record's solid. There's a little section on the corkboard at home for all the things that Johnny's gotten right.
He's correct.
There's a gold star next to a few of them.
Johnny's correct, although a bit over dramatic times.
Yeah, but
okay. Do investigated mystery and both get an extra +1 on top of your sharp.
Okay. Alright, so I got an 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
So that would just be again 2 dice and whatever extra.
Yep.
Yeah, then plus your sharp and then plus an extra 1.
Oh, plus an extra 1. 15.
Woo!
Okay, so
I'm
Clara rolled first, and so we'll do theirs first, and then we'll do Johnny's. So what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can it hurt? Where did it go? What is it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
Definitely going to go for a what's being concealed here, because they've gone through all the different options in their brain, and they're just not sure which one they believe the most at this point.
What's being concealed here? You know that you've heard, unless you ask the question, I'm not going to tell you who these people are in the van.
Mm-hmm.
But what is being concealed here? You know that you've read online that there's people like this, that weird things happen, and then people go online and talk about it, and then the next day the post is gone, and you ask the people, you've DM'd these people about these events before, and then they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you think about Johnny telling you that we're gonna forget. You know that you're not sure what they are yet, but these people that chased you, they hide and conceal supernatural sightings.
Mm.
There have been people that gotten away from them before in the past, but you know that that's why they're chasing you. You saw something, you were in a location, you were somewhere you weren't supposed to be, and now they're trying to catch you and make you kind of forget the whole thing.
Mm.
All right, and you get one more question because you got an 11.
What are they going to do?
They're gonna make you forget. They're gonna make you forget what happened today.
Gotcha. So they're gonna turn to Johnny and just be like, Johnny, you are 100% correct, but I think I have a plan.
All right, and then Johnny gets 2 questions because he rolled also over a 10.
Okay. We need to find out. Oh, wait, are we talking about the creature or are we talking about the people who are chasing the van at the moment?
This is specifically about the van.
So we want to know who are these people? What sort of creatures were driving the van? I'm gonna pretend like maybe there's demons riding the van or something.
You're kind of going through your head, and you remember. You actually remember Clara telling you about something like this before, and it's just like, you remember a memory of Clara telling you about these things, and from everything Clara told you, you remember it's like they're like humans, but they're not humans. What did Clara call them? What did Clara call them, Clara? And then you have it. Clara called them the Men in Black.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Clara, do you think these are those G-men you're always talking about? G-men and
they just nod very sagely.
So it's easy to assume that Clara knows a lot more. What's it called? I guess alien science, realistic based conspiracies, and Johnny's more always leaning towards demons and stuff like that. Even though
I like that a lot.
I would think so.
I like that a lot.
Like maybe they agree.
You remember Clara telling you about these things.
Weird things are happening, but one's like aliens, the other one's like demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you remember, I think you remember this because, like, you remember Clara telling you about them, and it's like, people aren't sure if they are aliens, people aren't sure if they are demons, like, kind of a devil taking a human disguise. Like, no one's really sure from what Clara was telling you. There's people that think they're demonic, and there's people who think they're aliens. You get one more question.
We need to find out what these things are and what they can do before they erase our memories and we end in the dark. Although my life is just that, living in the dark.
You remember Clara telling you about these things. You remember that they cause amnesia, they cause memory loss. They're able to either convince you to delete the evidence online, or they're able to do it themselves. There's even been cases of people just like, you know what, I'm not going to put it online. I'm going to write it down in a book, in my journal, and then those pages are missing on the next day. You also know that they can see in the dark. That they don't need headlights. They don't need lights. They can see in the dark.
So it's funny that you talk about like these things being able to convince people to like, you know, get rid of their stuff and everything like that. Because I think like Clara's plan at this point is to write it down in the journal because they have a super special secret hiding place for their journal that you guys are going to find out is actually quite mundane.
You know that this would work because evidence of these things have gotten out before. It just takes a specifically clever person to kind of get around them. They have some sort of mind reading ability, but it can be resisted. It's been resisted before, so it's not 100% sure that they're gonna know where these things are if you try to hide it. You know, posting it online is a guarantee they're going to make it disappear. But if you have a good hiding spot and you can resist their mind reading, you can actually get away with storing the information. Like, there's a reason you know about them in the first place. So what do y'all want to do next?
Are we out of, is the van no longer following us? Are we out of, we're clear non-danger? Or
yeah, y'all are having this little meetup like in the middle of the woods where you know the van can't follow you through.
Okay, so like the first thing Claire's going to insist on is like they're gonna pull out their notebook and they're just gonna like get out 2 different pens. One of them is black for Johnny and the other one's purple for them. And they're just like, okay, first things first, written record. I'll take care of the translation and the hiding. Everything else, just get it down. Get down what you remember for today as best as you can. like business first.
And so is that just y'all exchanging the information of everything?
Yeah, I'm just like making a written record of it.
Okay.
I'm trying to imagine the differences in their handwriting. It's just
before
like
we forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Clara has a plan for making sure that this stays.
Johnny writes down.
What's Clara's plan?
So, Clara, having heard many different ways that anyone who tries to get this stuff online gets nixed, and, these things will erase your memory, has over time created multiple caches near their house and around town of various forms of copies of their notes. So, let me see here. So, you know how, in high school, when you're hanging around, you want to pass notes between each other in class, you come up with weird ciphers?
Mm-hmm.
So, they have a couple of places where they've hidden different forms of those ciphers. So, one that they have is writing things backwards in invisible ink, and then hiding that in the arcade. It's stuffed inside the loose upper lining of a Galaga machine. Let me see. Another place that they have is in a small metal container that's behind their house under their mother's flower bed, because there's no one in the house who would mess around with the mother's flowers bed unless it's them. And then they have one more hiding spot that I think the only person on Earth that they would ever trust is Johnny. And I'm not sure if we're going to reveal that one just yet, but for each of those hiding places, there's a different cipher that they've come up with.
I like the idea of you using weird for this, and this isn't, you can either act under pressure, or you can use weird. And weird won't be magic in this case. Weird will be, how good is Clara's stack of ciphers and caches?
Okay.
How good? Because,
how much of a weird?
If there's enough layers,
yeah.
even if they read your mind, they still won't be able to figure it out. You know what I mean? There's reading your mind, and then there's thinking how Clara thinks.
Yeah. They're gonna read it and they're like, this is a stupidly easy cipher, but then you find out all the lengths that they've gone to stuff it somewhere, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, you solved that cipher, but that's behind.
You see, that's
cipher.
layer 1 of 4.
They're all rather simple, but you gotta do 8 of them.
And you have to think like a teenager that's been watching too much X-Files. Anyway, so
do 2d6 plus your weird, and I'll give you an extra +1 because I really like the idea.
Appreciate it. All right, let's see how this goes. Ooh, we got a 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Even with the extra +1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I allowed to use the luck stat for that, actually?
Oh, yeah, you can use the luck.
Okay, we're gonna use a luck.
Alright, yeah, this is important, so you burn a luck. So that's a 10 plus. If the magic works, choose your effect. And this one's pretty straightforward. I'll post the... If I use magic and I'll put the list of them, but we're using the magic effect that is bar a place or portal from a specific type of creature. You're basically using these ciphers and these drops to bar the Men in Black from these notes, from these memories, kind of thing. So what does that look like? It's still at night. Are you gonna hide them the next day on Halloween, or are you gonna hide them tonight before you get home?
Clara's probably gonna hide them tonight. They have their little loop around town, so once they part ways, Clara's going to be very busily pulling out a vial of invisible ink and lemon juice from their backpack, and making multiple copies in different ciphers of both of their journal entries and just stashing them in the secret caches around home.
We're going to fade to the scene transitions, and it's Clara at their hiding spot. They've done the lemon juice and the visible ink. What hiding spot are they picking?
So this is going to be their super special secret one that I think only Johnny really knows about in the entire world, and it is in a Walmart parking lot. There is a gap in the concrete right near one of the cart returns that's just kind of sitting there in the dirt, and there's some flowers kind of semi-growing out of it a bit, just a ton of weeds too. And basically what they do is they tie it up, they put it in a Ziploc bag, they put that in a Ziploc bag, they put it in a tube that they've stolen from the biology lab, and they shove their hand into the hole wait until they feel like dirt and bugs at the bottom, pull up at a very discreet and specific angle and shove it back into a crack that's between the rocks, and just like gently pats it and like twists their arm back out. No one knows exactly how they found that, but
and then the scene I think transitions again, and we're seeing Johnny kind of walk home late. I think y'all probably split ways at one point. Mm-hmm. There's a scene of like Clara going one way to do the dead drop, and then Johnny's gonna go make his way home.
And Clara very much expressing that they want him to have good luck with his mother.
So Johnny, what does your house look like? You're walking to your house. It's late. Your mother is waiting in front of the house. She's wearing a pink dress out of like the 50s.
Oof. It's awful. I think the house would go with the setting. Well off looking neighborhood, well off looking place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much probably TV unrealistically nice looking.
Yeah.
I don't know if Johnny's dad is around or works too much or something, but we don't see them at all. We just see
this is a Disney Channel movie. We only ever see one parent at a time.
So one parent, so they probably can't even afford to live in this
We're
place.
not paying for 2 adult actors. That's crazy.
Plus, it's Disney. One parent has to be dead anyway for narrative purposes.
Yeah. And so, your mom sees you approaching the house, and she's like, "Oh, Johnny, where have you been, Johnny?" And she like runs up to you and like hugs you.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking at all. But all right, not what I was expecting at all. I was ready for a fight. But that's fine.
No, she's overbearing, but in the
way.
other end of it. Yeah.
To him, this is torture, though.
Yeah, for you, this is torture. She's like hugging you. It's like, Johnny, I was so worried. That nice girl, Chelsea, she told me you left. You were running around with that Clara again. Oh, Johnny.
Mom, I'm fine. Kelsey's not nice. One hates her. Please, I'm tired.
She says, Johnny, don't talk like that.
Well, I'm sorry, Mom. I can't be perfect, okay? If you have a problem with it, why don't you take it up with your God? He made me this way.
She says, oh, you talk just like your father. And then she says, Johnny, I know you said you're too cool for Halloween, but you're only a child once. Your costume's on the table. I want you to see if it fits.
Oh, no.
You're going out trick-or-treating tomorrow. And so as a DM, I told both Sophie and Carlos to pick a Halloween costume. And Carlos told me that Johnny was, quote, too cool for Halloween costume. So, Johnny, I've made you a cool little table here. Roll me 2d6s without any modifiers.
Oh,
just straight 2d6s.
No.
7.
There's some bad stuff on here and some good stuff
7.
on here. A 7. Alright, so your mom has her arm around you, rubbing your shoulder. She's like, Johnny, I think you're really gonna like this one, Johnny. I know how much you love breakfast, and you look, and there's a giant, like, foam made out of, like, Hobby Lobby craft material. The sewing machine's on the table still. It just got finished being made. A large piece of bacon. You're gonna be bacon for Halloween.
Right, so for just for
it has like a hole cut out for your face and arms and legs, and it's just a big piece of bacon.
Just for realism purposes, we're gonna have to retcon a thing about Johnny's mom being a Jehovah's Witness, because there would definitely be no Halloween if that were the case. So
she can be a different kind of religious.
Yeah, she
knows you.
She sounds like Southern Baptist to me by the voice you just made.
Yeah, she can be
so
Southern
we'll
Baptist.
retcon that, because it's not going to work with what you have planned, and I'm fine with that. As long as it's a religious person that Johnny's rebelling against. It's fine.
She says, "I picked it out just for you. I know how much you love breakfast and love
Or Jewish?
Now it's
Maybe
not.
she's
It's
Jewish?
nothing.
Sure.
You know, it's a costume God would like. You know, it's nice and clean. You know."
She can't be Jewish because it's bacon, so yeah, Southern Baptist is it.
Alright, and then what's Johnny's reaction? Then we're gonna cut over to Clara.
Okay, his reaction is actually before he finds out what the costume is, which was the same thing I told you earlier, which was like, Mom, when you're as dark and scary as I am, you don't need a costume to pretend. And then...
Yeah, I think that conversation's happening as you walk
and,
into the kitchen with
and
it on the
she
table.
picks up the bacon, and Johnny says nothing. He's just... Johnny is kind of experiencing fear for the first time.
He just got chased by the Men in Black,
Yeah.
and this is what scares him.
And that's it.
Can I tell, before we cut to Sophie, can I tell you some of the other options on this list?
Yes.
Alright, so you can't roll a 1 because the minimum's 2, because it's 2d6s. It's a frog costume, a Power Ranger, a grape juice box, a Ninja Turtle, a picnic, a piece of bacon, the Titanic, a dinosaur, a vampire, a clown, and a werewolf.
Oh man, the vampire
could have gone worse, honestly.
Both the
Yeah, this was real middle of the road.
vampire and Titanic would have been hilarious. I mean, bacon is hilarious too, but I feel like he'd.
And you were one off. I really wanted it to be the Titanic.
Because there's a mixture.
The
There's a mixture of lame and also Johnny being like, well, a lot of people died.
Impressive.
It's dark enough.
I feel a connection with this.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the last scene is going to be Clara coming home. So we're going to cut, and it's Clara walking home in the dark. They just hid their dead drop. And Clara, what does your house look like?
So Clara lives, in contrast to Johnny, kind of in one of the more lower income sides of town. I'm thinking she might live in, not really a trailer park, but kind of like the next step up where it's kind of, cheaper housing, smaller kind of lots, that kind of thing. Yeah, something like that.
Oh god, this fits your dad's description so well.
Yeah. So, something along those lines. And walking up to the house, there's just, just like a ton of like these very it's not the best soil out here, but someone has tried very hard to make a very nice flower bed that on one side has a bunch of different flowers and on the other side has a lot of kind of like herbs and some tomatoes and stuff. It's like someone kind of doing like a, one side fun garden and one side practical growing food garden.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of gonna walk up to the house and before even knocking on the door is gonna swing open and their mom's gonna be there.
Oh, it's your mom?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Or if you had something planned, go for it.
I had so I have a description because I was gonna do Johnny's has the mom and then Clara has the dad.
Sure, go for it. Absolutely.
So you open the door, and a large man with a beer gut wearing a white tank top and ripped jean shorts that are far too short for him, is at the door waiting. And in a deep, raspy voice, he says, Clara, where have you been? Oh, my lovely child, I'm so worried. And he's hugging you. He looks like he's gonna be a mean guy, but he's actually the nicest guy ever.
As someone who has a dad that's very like this, yeah. My dad looks like
you can still have a mom. Your mom's inside, chilling on the couch. What does your mom look like?
So definitely Latina. she's kind of more of a traditional housewife. Does like a lot of the cooking and cleaning, and the garden is hers. But has this side to her that like, if you give her a reason, she will freaking full on meet you in the pit. Like, she's been through a lot in her life, and she doesn't put up with anyone's crap. Like.
So, like, the dad looks like he's going to be that person, but it's, like, flipped.
Yep. And then
Like,
Mom looks like
passive,
a sweet cinnamon
super,
roll,
like,
but the second...
lovey-dovey
like,
dad.
like, you know that whole meme of looks like a cinnamon roll but could kill you? That's Clara's mom.
Okay, and so the last thing that happens is that your dad's like, Clara, I know you've been working on your Halloween costume, you know, the robot you said you're going to be. Your LED just came in. It came in while you were at school, and he gives you this box, and it's like jingling around, and like he's opened it, and a bunch of like circuit boards and like LEDs are in there.
Yeah. Clara's excited.
He said, "I'm sorry they came so late, but you know, tomorrow's Halloween. I'll let you stay up late to put it together."
Oh, thanks, Dad.
And so
Like,
I think
the kitchen table is just going to be covered in cardboard, duct tape, circuitry stuff, some welding stuff that they definitely should not have access to. Like,
but it's all set up on the table already. Like your dad got it ready for
Aw,
you. Like he knew you were going
bless
to want
his
to do
heart.
it. And so Clara's gonna get started working on their Halloween costume. Well, I guess the finishing touches. And the camera pulls back and pulls out through the window. And there's these muddy footprints that are leading right up to the door of your house. And the camera pans back following those footprints, and as it pans back, it like gets darker and darker and darker, and it just fades out on those footprints. And that's where we're gonna leave off today.
alrighty.
Hey.
Good stuff. I like the setup we got going here.
And I promise it's gonna get Transformers-y. You just gotta get there.
Just gotta get there.
It's really fun. I'm really excited for y'all to get to there.
Yeah.